So I hope you understood the concept of a symbolic data. And then we have gone through some applications, so how to do the differentiation operation. And then we were checking out the sets, how to represent the sets and how to perform operations on the sets. So there are two types of sets we were discussing, ordered list and ordered set or unordered set. And in the set itself, the data, if you take, you can see a form of redundancy or you may not have a form of, you may have redundancy or you may not have a redundancy. There are possibilities. So the set in the sense, normally we will not have a redundant data. So now we will consider all the cases and we will just write the code, okay, for performing operations. So the first operation, what we have done is finding the element that is searching for an element in a given set. We have written some procedures, search procedure, and we also have written a join set. That means joining an element to the list. So in the case of a unordered list, no problem. We can just join at the head position, right? At the beginning of the set, we can insert. So this is what we discussed. In order to write an efficient program, in the case of an unordered list, we can just insert that element in the list. So we will have only the cons. But in order to do the cons, we will just check whether that element is available in the list or not. Right? If the list contains that element, we will not insert once again. Otherwise, we will construct that X and append it. Sorry, not appending, we will connect to the set elements. So this is the case, that is no duplication. Okay, so there is no duplicate of data. So now, can you tell me, we have a constraint that we can also have a duplicate data.
Ma'am, are you sharing?
Oh, I didn't share it. Which you can see now.
Not yet.
Oh, very sorry. Okay. Now is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were defining a join procedure, a join set procedure, which will include X in the set if that element is not available. So if it is available, we will just come out, right? So now this is in the case I have a constraint that in the set will not have a duplicate data. Now, can you rewrite this particular procedure in case we want to have duplicate data? Okay, duplicate data is permissible. So in that concept, how will you modify this particular statement, this procedure? Right. So what I'm asking is the duplicate. We can have a redundant data. So in that case, how will you modify this procedure? So this is the second case. I want to perform a join operation, and X will be inserted in the element. In the case of a duplicate element as well, I want to perform the join operation. Definitely, X has to be inserted. All right. So in that case, where you will insert X, what is your efficient program? How will you modify this program? I hope you understood this question. In the case of, we can have a duplicate of data, X has to be inserted. So in this case, how will you modify this algorithm?
Ma'am, no need to search for X also, like directly.
Yes. Yes, super. So no need to search for the element. This is unnecessary. You just write cons of what you will write, X set or set X. what you will write. You can append anywhere, isn't it? You can append anyway. So if you want to insert at the end, then you have to call recursively, pass the value and go to the last element and then you will insert. Okay, so now in the case the duplicate elements are possible, then you no need to search. This you can eliminate. Directly you just put a cons, right? Cons exit, right? So this job is over. And then we were talking about the intersection. How to perform the intersection. So let us look at, for the intersection procedure, two sets are required, set 1 and set 2. So the logically we can think about how to perform the intersection. I will be checking out the set 1 and set 2 for empty. If any one is empty, there is no intersection at all. So this is the condition. The first condition, first and foremost thing what we are doing is set 1 is null or set 2 is null, then you return the empty list, isn't it? So this is the first one. And next what you will do. So our procedure goes here. What you will do, first of all, you have to take the car set. From set 1, you are taking the car. What you are doing is a kind of searching you are performing, taking the first element and then you have to check in the list that is in the second set. If it is matching, if it returns true, then what you have to do, right? What you have to do, you have to do this procedure. What you have to do here, the first element is, I just take some examples so that we can easily go for writing the procedure. Let us say 4, 3. Okay. Right. So now taking S1 as this one and S2 as this one, and we will take the first element. The first element is there or not, so that we already have a procedure called the element of set, right? That is, this particular element is available in set 2 or not. So car of set 1 is 2 is present in the set or not, we will check. If it is true, then what you have to do? What you have to do immediately, you will construct another new set which will be inserting the car element, isn't it? So that I have cons of car of set 1. Okay, and then what you're doing is, once again you have to perform the operation by passing the remaining elements, so that you are doing intersection set of CDR of set 1. So 3, 5, 6 will go on, and set 2 is this one. So you will pass, and once again it will be repeated. If suppose this element is not there, the car of set 1 is not there, so what you have to do? The car set is not there, no need to construct, so that you will directly call the intersection procedure with the CDR. That is what we are doing in the else part, right? So else intersection set of CDR of set 1 and then set 2. So it is now S1 will have the remaining elements except the first element, and set 2 you have. So I'm not disturbing set 2, I'm just iterating, okay, taking the first element and then compare, taking the second element and then compare with all the elements of set 2 and so on, right? So this procedure is very easy to understand, isn't it? This is for what type of list? What type of list? It is for the unordered list, right? There is no ordering is maintained. Okay. Is there any doubt in this particular procedure? So there is a con and the condition. There are two conditions we are checking. One is for null, another one is every element we have to compare with the second set. Okay, so there are two cases. One is true, another one is false. If it is true, you have to construct and then call the same procedure with the CDR value. If it is not matching, then you directly call the intersection. Okay. Any doubt in this? Shall I go to the next? Okay, now the question is, yeah.
Ma'am, like what is the difference? What is happening? So we are trying to find 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, 6, 2, 7 intersections. So the output should be 2. Yeah, 2 alone. No,
Yeah.
6,
So
2,
first
6.
you are taking 2 and you will check. So 2 is available. 2 you write, and then 3 you will check it is not there, 5 it is not there, and 6 there is the matches. So your output will be this one.
Yes, ma'am. So what is actually happening if the first
You are not audible actually. Some breaks. So what is actually happening is, if there is a match element of set, this car element, the first element is matching with any element in the set, then immediately you will construct with the car element and then calling also. So two tasks you are doing for the true condition. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Yeah, if it is not, you no need to construct it. So, but you have to call with the CDR, the remaining elements. So you have to take the next one, right? The 3. So that is what you are doing. The CDR set one, which will pass 3, 5, 6. And again, you will check the car of CT1. Car of CT1 is what now? It is 3. So 3 will be compared with set 2. Okay. So now, so here, because it is unordered list, unwantedly, the iterations are more. That is, you have to take the first element, compare it, and then take the second element, compare it. So the set 1 has a size of n, and the set 2 has a size of n. So n into m times you have to perform. So the order of growth will be n square, isn't it? So, but how to efficiently do this one? How to efficiently perform the intersection operation for ordered list, let us say. So in the case of comparing the procedure for unordered list and for the ordered list, somewhat you can improve the efficiency of your program if the set of the elements are in an ordered fashion. If the elements are in an ordered fashion, somewhat we can reduce some tasks. Okay, so let us look at how to perform intersection for the ordered list. Okay, this is for a union. You have to, I thought of asking you to write a union. Okay, let us see that one later. So let us take an ordered list. So what is meant by ordered list? The elements are in the sorting order. So in this case, how to perform intersection? How to perform intersection, what you have to do? And first of all, let us write a search procedure. Can you write a search procedure for the ordered list? Now, I show you the search procedure for the unordered list, right? So can you modify this one for ordered list? You can tell me. What are the conditions you have to look at? So let us say I have elements 5, 8, then 9, 10, 20. Okay, I have to perform a search operation whether 5 is available or not. There are many cases the element may not be available, or the element will be available in the first position itself, right? Or it may be in some other position. So now, what is the logic? First of all, let us write the steps. What is the operation you have to perform? So given the element, I will go for taking the first element. Okay, before that, the given set is empty, right? If it is empty, the set is empty, then we can just return it's not there, it is a false. It is not there, the element is not there. And second condition is some elements are there, but we would like to perform the search. So we will take the first element and compare with the given element, right? So if it is, this element is lesser than the first element, isn't it? If this element is lesser than the first element, then what? For example, I have 1. 1 needs to be searched here. So what is the efficient way of searching? That is, the first element is greater than the given element. So this is the condition. So if car of set, if car of set is greater than greater than x. If it is, then what you will return. So here 4, car of s is 4, 4 is greater than 1, that element 1 is not there. So you no need to search further. So you just return false. Isn't it? So what is the third operation you will perform? Now the cases, I want to search for something like 6. So what is the condition? So both are actually it is not empty and the car of s is greater than x, that is also not satisfied. So the third condition. So else what you need to do? What you have to do every time, you have to pick up the element, that is the car element, and then check. So the condition is what? What is the condition you will write so
Yes,
that the
ma'am.
yes is
While moving forward, if the am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
4 is less than 6, so we move the step forward.
Yeah.
And when the element of the list, like 8 is greater than 6, no, ma'am. So
Yes.
we will understand that 6 cannot be present more far. So we will
Yeah.
directly return false.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the case, for example, I want to search for a 9. What happens is you will have an equal condition, isn't it? So you have to iteratively call the procedure by passing the CDR value, isn't it? CDR value and DX value. And then sometime your condition, the condition is nothing but car of S is equal to the element x. So at this point, you may say it is true, right? So this is the way you have to write the program. Okay, so we are talking about the ordered list, and in the ordered list, the efficiency, let us say calculating the rate of growth. So the worst case, best case, and average case, if you take for this search operation, can you tell me what is the worst case or best case? Okay, let me write the best case first. The
Order
best
of
case,
1.
order of 1. Why? Because the element may be lesser than the first element, or it may be the first element. So in that case, the order is order is 1. Sorry. Oh. Okay, so what may be the best case? Worst case. So the worst case is
Order of n.
order of n. Why? Because the element may be at the last. It may be available at the end of the list as a last element, or it may not be available. For example, if I am checking for 18 and that 18 is not at all available, but we have to call the procedure recursively till we are reaching the end of the list. So the worst case is here it is big O of n. So what will be the average case? How to find out? What is meant by average case? So considering how much time it will take when the element is present in first position plus second position, all the time you will look at, right, divided by n. So what will be the average case for this? It is not the average of best case and worst case, but the time taken for performing the operation if the element is present in the first position itself. So you will have iteration of how many times? One time, and then the next one is it will call it the comparison for if the element is in the second location, the comparison required or calling the procedure maybe the second time, then
Ma'am,
third
like
time.
that also it will become n
That
plus
will,
1 by 2 only,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. So
Because the sum will be n into n plus 1 by 2 divided by n
by
means the
mm,
result will come n plus 1 by 2 only.
yes, you are right. Okay. So given a procedure, we can also find out the best case, worst case, and the average case. Okay. So now let us perform a join operation. Okay. So in the case of an ordered list, the adjoint, did I say? In the case of order list, how will you do the adjoint? So let us take the same thing. I have to do the adjoint operation with the element 18. 18 has to be inserted here. In the case of unordered list, what I did is I will just go to the head and I will add 18. But here, because it is ordered list, I have to locate the proper position, isn't it? So how will you modify the adjoint set procedure for the ordered list? Anyone of you?
Yes, ma'am. We won't be like we can just compare the adjacent elements actually, but since we have search procedure, we can use that also.
Yeah. Can you write a program for this one? It is very simple to write the say the logic, but how will you write the how will you write the program? How to write a program for the order list? Okay, so that 18 will be inserted at the proper position. Can you tell me the conditions? What you will do? Will you check for empty? Will you check for empty? Yes, that is the first condition. Will you check for the car? The first element is greater than the second given element. Then, if that is the one, okay, so the condition is one is checking for a empty. Okay, another one is you will check with the car element. Car of S is greater than the given X. So in that case, you can perform the counts, right? You can perform counts, just you can attach it. But if at all it is not happening, okay, so it will lie in the middle. So in that case, what to do? Every time what you need to pass CDR of set, isn't it? CDR of set. Yeah, every time.
Only, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
We can use cons itself or append.
We can also use. We can
either use cons or append is what I said, ma'am.
Okay, you're right actually. So cons you can use, and actually this append what it will do, it will always append at the end, isn't it? In Lisp, how it will perform?
We will break down, no, ma'am. Suppose we realize that the position of 20, that 18 comes
At that time?
before. So we can actually the previous elements also we need to keep a track, no, ma'am. So actually we will be doing cons till 10, no, ma'am.
Yes.
So then after we will be just putting 18 and then we will close the cons with 20, the CDR of the remaining list.
Yes. So every time you just pass the CDR of the set and then you check for the condition whether it is greater or not. If it is, as soon as it reaches a greater, for example 20 and the element 18 you have to. So as soon as we reach 20, then before that you have to insert it. So that is you have to constraint. So constraint 18 and attach with the remaining set. So the logic will go like this, and then. Yeah, so now let us perform intersection on the ordered list. Okay, so performing intersection on set 1 and set 2. Now if you look at the first condition, if set 1 is null or set 2 is null, okay, I will return empty. There is no change at all. And second thing is, what we are doing is here, every element, actually in the ordered case, we should a little bit careful when you are finding or moving the pointers in set 1 or a set 2. You have to check whether which one is lesser, which one is greater. For example, I will write it here. Yeah, you just take. you have to find the intersection of 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. It is empty. Okay, let us take the intersection set of 7, 9, 11 and 3, 5, 7, 9. So what you have to do? This is ordered set. Both are ordered set, right? So the thing is, what we do is, first of all, the car of S1 and then the car of S2. Okay, you just check if it is equal. If it is equal, it will always come in the new set. So that x1 is equivalent to x2, then you are constructing the list with x1 and repeating and calling once again the same procedure with the CDR of ST1 and CDR of set 2, right? So if you are just checking the first element of S1 and first element of S2 and then both are equal, then we have to include in our new set. We have to construct a new set. So for a construction, you can copy x1 or x2, and once again after copying, you have to call it with the CDR of s1 and CDR of s2, because we have to move the pointer both side. Yeah, and then let us take another condition. X1 is less than x2. In this case, what happens is x1 is greater than x2, right? Sorry, S1 is greater than S2. So if you look at here, the condition is what happens, X2 is greater than X1. And here X1, so that is what, right? Sorry, X1 is greater than X2. So now X1 is 7 and X2 is 3. So this condition is satisfied here for this particular sample. And what you need to do is call the intersection set with the CDR of set 1 and set 2. You just justify why we are not using the CDR here.
Because the elements can become equal, no, ma'am. Suppose 1, 2, and again 3 can come again, no, ma'am. So that time 3 and 3 can match. And when they can match, we can, yeah, so that's why.
That's right. So, and the ulta case again, the x2 is less than x1, then you just keep set 1 and then set 2, the CDR of set 2 we need to pass. So, if you look at, our thought process and the program, how we have written is matching, right? It is very natural, and this is the way we can write a program for the intersection of finding intersection of ordered list. Okay, so comparing this one, the intersection of unordered list, this is, yeah. So now, if I look at this one, I just find it that in finding the intersection of ordered list is quite interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? So this is in the natural way, the first element of set 1 and the first element of set 2, I will check, and if it is equal, then I will move on to the next element in both sets. If it is lesser, I will just move the pointer in S1 and then move on and searching all the elements in S2 and so on, right? So this is for the ordered list. Now, I would like you to do some union operation. How to perform union operation? So set 1 is given, set 2 is given, and find out or perform union operation. So I'm just showing you a blank screen. You just come up with the idea. How to perform union of two sets. You take
whether just are ordered or not, ma'am.
You take the first case unordered list.
Yes, ma'am. So the basic logic goes like, can it tell or like what, ma'am?
Yeah, you can also tell me, you can dictate me how to write it. You tell the logic and then we can write a program. Yes.
So the thing what we would do is we can just keep the set one just simply because it is union, right? And then we can just we can just check the set two. If the elements of set two are there in set one, we will be skipping them, or else we will be doing cons operation with the set one elements. So yeah, that would work. So there will be
Okay,
such
got
a
it.
thing.
Okay. So this is for the unordered list, and we would like to perform a union. And as per Priya, what we have to do is there is no order maintained. But what you have to do is you just will you perform a comparison operation?
Actually, the
So
search is needed, ma'am. You said there can be an efficient approach, of course, but the simplest
yes.
one is just include all the elements of the A and then just
Mm.
check whether the elements of B are present in A or not. If they're already
Yeah, this
present, just
is
keep them.
correct.
This is
Correct.
brute
So
force,
what
but the
you're saying
efficient.
is. Mhm. So what you're saying is, in the case the list is capable of saving duplicate data, then your answer is correct, right? In the case of a duplicate data, you just copy A and then copy B, so no problem. But we are not allowing a duplicate data, so it has to have uh, unique data, so there is no duplicate. So in
I
that case,
didn't
how will you?
understand, ma'am. No duplicate means what?
Yeah. So if you are making a union operation, three. See, as per your logic, 3, 5, 6, 7. You will have 3, 5, 6, 7, and then you will copy the elements 3, 6, and then 3, and then
No,
6,
no, ma'am.
and then
6 will be
9.
copied only if it is not present in A. So we will perform a search
Oh,
operation
okay.
of 6 in A. So it is already present, so we will move to the next element. 3 is already present in A. So we will move to the next element. 6 is also present in A. So finally we move to 9 and 9 is not present in A. So we will just add it
You
to
have
it.
to
So the
complete.
answer will be 3, 5, 6, 7,
Hmm.
9.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. So you will compare and after if it is already inserted, you will not perform. Yeah. Okay. So now let us look at this code. Can you understand this one? So how your thought process and this particular program differs? What they are doing? So there is a union set procedure S1 and S2 you are passing, and there is a let procedure. In the let procedure,
This is
inter
the same
is
process, ma'am. This is very
mm,
cool, actually. Actually, what they're
mm,
doing is instead of I told copy set one and then copy elements of set two which are not present in set one, no, ma'am.
correct.
What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But here, what they are doing is append set two and then filter elements of set one. And they have already declared instead of using intersection set one, set two all the time, they have assigned inter the all the caller function to a variable as inter, and then they're filtering the elements of set one. Like how the elements will be filtered from set one is lambda x, like every element of set one where it is not what is it where the x is not present in the inter of set one. So
Correct.
whenever they are not present in the intersection, then they are appending it. This is, but for that we should be already having intersection. That's the same as search, ma'am. So this is
Yeah,
very cool, actually.
yeah, yeah. This is very cool one. Yeah. Okay. So that's
Ma'am,
all.
can you go back? I didn't write it down. That
Which one though?
ma'am, this one only. Yes, ma'am. I took a screenshot. You can move.
Okay. Okay. So the next one is performing union with respect to ordered list. Performing union with respect to ordered list. Just see, I'm just giving the code. Okay. Now it is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. This also is similar to what we did for intersection.
Correct. So let us check. Yeah, you can only tell. It's very self-explanatory.
Yes. What the union said, as we already know, we don't want repetition from both the sets. So initially we will be checking for the null condition. So suppose the set one is null means we will directly tell the union of set one and set two as set two itself. Because yeah, that's what the condition is. If the set two is null, then we will be calling union of set one and set two as set one itself, or else we'll be comparing all the elements of set 1 and set 2. So initially for R is we are declaring car of set 1 as x1 and car of set 2 as x2. And then we will be comparing the elements x1 and x2. So when they are equal, so what we will be doing is we need to skip both the elements, right? We should not sorry. We will be including only one element and we won't be including both x1 and x2. So what they are doing is cons of x1 to ensure that there is one copy of x1 present, and then we will be doing union set of CDR of set 1 and CDR of set 2. So this will ensure that all the remaining elements can be checked once again. And when the x1, so when a car of set 1 is less than x2, so then they are not equal, ma'am. So that would
Yes.
mean we can include x1, but then the condition will be we will be moving forward in set 1, but then not in set 2. We won't be moving forward in set 2. We are not doing CDR because the elements of CDR can match with x1 once again, no, ma'am. So there is
Correct.
still a chance because it is an ordered set. This is like we just need to give a thought about it. Then we already discussed the very same point in intersection. So this is very easy to understand now.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
then we will go to check the condition x2 and x1 again. So that would mean that the element in the x1 is greater than that of the x2, right? So what we will be doing is we will be moving a set 1 as a constant. We will be including x2, the element first. We won't be moving the pointer in set 1, but then we will be moving the pointer in set 2. So that's how the union works.
Yes. So this is a very simple algorithm, though it is looking like it's a bigger one, it's nothing, right? Yeah, that's all. So there are two conditions, set 1 is empty or set 2 is empty. If set 1 is empty, return set 2. If set 2 is empty, return set 1. Otherwise, what we have to do is, we have to take the first element from set 1, assign to x1, and take the first element from set 2, assign to x2. And then we need to perform the comparison. So if both are equal, you can copy x1 or x2 and then once again call the same procedure with the remaining elements. If it is lesser than, then you have to copy only the lesser element, that is nothing but a x1, and call the same procedure with the CDR, because the one element already we have copied it, so we have to move it to the next element. So CDR of set 1. And then the reverse case, x2 is lesser than x1, and then what we need to do. So x2 has to be copied. The lesser data is x2. X2 we are copying and then calling the same procedure without disturbing S1, but the remaining elements of S2 will be sent. Yeah, this is very simple now. It's very interesting now, right? Okay, students. So
Yes.
that's all about. I would like to um, transfer my knowledge, and I also got a knowledge testing, and Priya was able to understand the Lisp program. Yeah, now it is very simple. We are going to reach the end of the semester, at least around 50% of the students, if they are very thorough how to write a program for the given problem, we are all very happy as a teachers. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.